much as you see up there on that map on Saudi Arabia and in the Persian Gulf and Kuwait represent very large oil fields. Saudi Arabia is a desert kingdom that is literally sitting on top of a sea of oil. So it makes it an extraordinarily strategic country in not just the Middle East, but in the entire world. Saudi Arabia, because of our relationship with Saudi Arabia, has been a U.S. ally in the region. And to be very honest with you, we haven't had very many of those throughout the history of the Middle East. We've had a few. Jordan, Saudi Arabia probably being the two countries that have been the most friendly in terms of relations with the U.S. And of course, Saudi Arabia, the monarchy of Saudi Arabia, has been very friendly to the U.S. because of the economic aspects of our relationship over the purchase of oil from them. Saudi Arabia is important for another reason, and that is because it is the birthplace of Islam. Two of the three holiest cities in all of Islam are found in Saudi Arabia. The first of those cities is the city of Mecca, M-E-C-C-A, Mecca. Mecca is the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad. Mecca is the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad. The second holiest city in Saudi Arabia is Medina, M-E-D-I-N-A, Medina. Medina is where Muhammad built his first mosque. The third holiest city in Islam is not in Saudi Arabia, but in fact is in Israel. The third holiest city in Islam is Jerusalem. If you are a good Muslim, you are supposed to, at least one point in your life, make a pilgrimage to Mecca. And every year, millions of faithful Muslims from all around the world will make this such pilgrimage to Mecca. So Saudi Arabia is very important in the Middle East for a variety of reasons, not only because of its economic resources, natural resources, but because of its place in one of the three great religions of the Middle East. Much of Saudi Arabia is desert. In fact, most of it is desert. Those green splotches you see on that map right there represent irrigated zones where they grow crops. But much of the country, particularly the southern portion of the country, is barren and extraordinarily hot desert. In fact, no one can actually live there during certain times of the year because the temperatures are so extreme. And it's called the Rub al-Khali, which means the empty quarters. That southern portion you see right down here, this area right in here, this is the empty quarter, because for much of the year, or parts of the year, extended parts of the year, it's just too doggone hot. It's a very hot part of the world here, okay? I have friends who served in the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. Some of whom were Air Force, some of whom were Navy, and one of them was at Dhahran Air Force Base, which is in Saudi Arabia, and temperatures there were hovering around 124 degrees. Balmy. Buddy of mine was in the Navy, was on a ship in the Persian Gulf, and those cool sea breezes lowered it down to a mere 113 degrees. Hey, 113 degrees on a ship, you better be careful where you sit or lean, because Kuwait. And you can see Kuwait has also very large oil reserves. Kuwait, of course, was the reason that the first Gulf War broke out, was Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. We went in to take care of that situation. That brings us to, I guess, the last country of the Middle East that we're going to talk about, and that is the country of Iran. And Iran is somewhat different than the rest of the Middle East. If you look at Iran, look at this map, and then look at the big map, you can see that Iran is much higher elevation-wise than the rest of the Middle East. For that reason, it's much cooler than the rest of the Middle East because of altitude. It's still very dry. As you can see, there are deserts there, but it's also very mountainous. Iran is a country that was once an ally to the United States when it was a monarchy under the Shah. Shah, spelled S-H-A-H, Shah of Iran. However, in 1979, there was an Islamic revolution that took place in Iran, and the monarchy was overthrown, and a theocracy was established in Iran. What's a theocracy? Yeah, in the United States we have a pretty strict separation of church and state, don't we? In a theocracy, there is no separation of church and state. In fact, the head of government is the head of the church, so to speak. The religious order in Iran is it really calls all the shots. I know they have a president that's elected, quote elected. His name is Ahmadinejad, right? And Mr. Ahmadinejad was elected, but when you go to vote in Iran, you don't really have a lot of choices because the only people that are allowed to run are people that are approved by the theocracy, the religious hierarchy. So if you are in any way counter to any of their policies, they won't approve you to be a candidate, and so you can't run. In other words, there is no opposition candidates to the official governmental party line. So while Mr. Ahmadinejad is fond of saying we have democratic elections in Iran just like you do in the United States, they're not quite like elections in the United States, are they? Because you can't have an opposition candidate. You can only have candidates that are approved by the theocracy. And they're not going to approve anybody that's going to be counter to their beliefs. Iran is considered right now to be the biggest potential threat in the Middle East to stability. Part of that reason is because of the fact that it's a theocracy, and because, of course, they are diligently working on nuclear weapons.
Is it just one, or is it
Just one
is
what?
it the technology? Are they working on the technology, or are they just working on a single?
No. You
nuclear
can't
bomb?
build a single bomb without the technology to build many bombs.
Well, I would assume that they already have the technology, so I just was.
They have the technology, but if they can build one, they can build more. If that makes sense. They don't go through all the process of gaining the technology and putting in the facilities to build one. You know what I'm saying? In fact, estimates I've heard is that they're probably initially going to build somewhere in the 30 range, 35. That does not give people in the Pentagon or the White House a warm, fuzzy feeling at night. Okay? Because Iran is dedicated to the destruction of what? What's that? Israel. They don't support the right of the Israelis to exist, the state of Israel to exist. And that's why I told you the other day, I wouldn't be surprised at all if what happened. Yeah, the Israelis didn't launch a strike against Iran to try to knock out their nuclear program. The problem is, Iran, the Iranians, or the government of Iran is not stupid. They're Ahmadinejad. And they've seen what's happened to Saddam Hussein's nuclear program and Syria's nuclear program, and so they've gone to great lengths to hide it, to disperse it. Instead of having it all in one big area, they've got bits and pieces of it scattered all over. And in fact, I'm told some of it is underground. The lesson they learned from the Germans in World War II. We bombed a lot of German aircraft factories, and so the Germans just began camouflaging them and building them underground. So it's going to be actually a somewhat difficult task. Not only sometimes are these targets difficult to reach if they're underground, but they're also difficult to identify from the air. You can't strike a target unless you can recognize it, right? So hopefully it won't come to that, but I'll be honest with you, even going back into the Bush administration, all this negotiating with Iran, trying to barter with them and bargain with them to give them concessions or give them things they wanted to in hopes that they would discontinue their nuclear program. They dangled it like a carrot in front of gullible people, I'm afraid, and those people went for it hook, line, and sinker. And you're not dealing with people. It's hard to reason with unreasonable people. Follow what I'm saying here? And too often in the world of historical political activity, you see people who take a very reasoned approach with potential enemies, assuming that those people are reasonable and going to understand what they're trying to accomplish and see the light and agree to it, when people who are potential enemies look at that as a form of weakness. And this goes back, way back, all right? There once was a British Prime Minister named Neville Chamberlain who got off of an airplane in 1938 after meeting with Adolf Hitler in Munich, who proudly proclaimed there will be peace in our time. After he gave part of Czechoslovakia to Nazi Germany in order to keep a war from breaking out, and what happened? By September 1st, 1939, World War II broke out. So I'll be honest with you, and I'm often accused of being skeptical or cynical or whatever. Maybe I am. I guess I'm old enough now and I've got the history knowledge to be able to look back at the big picture, but I am extremely skeptical of being able to negotiate with regimes like Iran and North Korea. By the way, if you missed the news this morning, things are getting really interesting in Korea. Like see the news this morning? North Korea shelled South Korean island off the coast and killed some South Korean Marines, and so it's a very tense situation rapidly developing between North and South Korea. By the way, there once was a war there. As you missed it, from 1950 to 1953, which, by the way, technically has never ended. It's been a state of